Welcome to A Little Less Stupid, songs and stories to be dumb, less, and smart, more. Today we're going to be a little less stupid on addictions and how to end them. I remember walking out from a tattoo shop in Carytown in Richmond, and I couldn't stop staring at my arm until a homeless man asked me for some money, and I said, I don't have any cash. And I just kept on walking, and as I was about to stare down at my saran-wrapped arm and the new ink I just purchased, another homeless person asked me for some spare change, and I said, I don't have any change. And a voice in my head, as more and more homeless people asked, they were everywhere. A voice in my head said, "Well, you have money." And I said, "I don't have any cash." And the voice is like, "Yeah, but get lunch. Get lunch with the next person who asks." And I walked down the street right past a Subway, and this 6-foot something towered over my 6'2" self, man with faded blue eyes and this beard that also had a "help me" sign. He asked, "Can you help a brother out?" And I almost said, I don't have any money. And I remembered what the voice said, and the voice said, "Get lunch." And I said, "I don't have any cash for you, but I'm pretty hungry. Do you want to get some Subway?" And he grabbed his backpack and left his group of compadres, and we walked to Subway. And as I was ordering my sub, when the attendant or the sandwich chef asked him, "What can I get for you?" he looked at me and he said, "What can I order?" And I paused for a second, surprised that he'd asked that. And I said, "Dude, get whatever you want, but you should know the chocolate chip cookies have been a favorite of mine recently." And we sat outside on this green metal table, and I was like, for some reason I didn't feel that worried about getting lunch with this guy. Maybe the voice in my head knew something I didn't. But we started talking. I asked him what his name was. His name is Frank. And I said, "Frank, what?" I don't know how I think in my head, you talk to homeless people different than other people. But I just started asking him what he'd like to do for fun. And he said, kind of looking off into the distance, like he was looking at a different time, he said, "I was really good at baseball." And I was like, "Oh, well, where'd you play baseball? High school, college?" And he said, I don't remember the exact name, but some juvenile detention center. And I wondered, and maybe I was just homeschooled and don't know what you should or shouldn't ask, but I said why were you there? and he said, I stabbed a man when I was 11. And I was like, "Man, you're ahead of the curve." and I asked why, and he said, "My stepdad was hurting my mom." And things kind of started to make sense of why this man was probably in the situation he was in now. And as we talked on further, he started talking about his job and how he couldn't keep a job because he couldn't stop drinking. And he said, he's like, "I used to be sober. I was sober once." And I said, how'd you do that? And he said, I was so low, all I could really do was be on my knees. And so I just stayed there and I asked God to help me. And I was like, "Well, dude, that's awesome. How long were you sober?" And he said, almost really, really proud that he had made it this long. He said, I made it 2 days. And I asked what changed. And he looked off in the distance while he was swallowing his soft drink, and he said, I guess I got off my knees. And I don't think Frank knew it, but he was preaching to me as I told him. I was like, Frank, I'm a lot like you. And he said, you're nothing like me. And I said, I have addictions just like you, and I forget or choose not to pray just like you, and I just take more showers than you, Frank, frankly. And I told Frank, I'm really tired of my addiction. Are you tired? And he had one alligator tear go down his face, and he said, I'm so tired. And I said, well, maybe we should take your advice and pray. And we wrote our help signs on some cardboard, metaphorically speaking, to God, and said, would you help us? And this song is about me and Frank, and this song's called You.
My neck won't break or change his mind. So little blue left in my bloodshot eyes. If this kills me, why does it taste so fine? Cleaning the tar off of my face inside. When I fall, I pray I might fall on my back. There I will see you. The dam, it breaks. I close my eyes. White wall of water hits me from behind. The river bank, now I lie. Do you see stains on my back or side? I say thank you, staring at the sky. And God says it's so good to see you. Wash me, would you? Would you? I wanna wear the water.
Thank you for joining me on this journey to be a little less stupid. Please subscribe, and if you've liked any of the songs, I'd love to get them professionally recorded. So go to the link in the description or the bio and buy me a coffee. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening.